Hey y'all, so I hear about 30,000 teachers went on strike today in the Golden State. Progressive heaven? Teachers in the heart of LA are on strike. You know, LA, most known for Hollywood and where you're really free to be yourself. Well, that's at least until they figure out how to tax you for it.
You can get a feel for the size of this morning's march from the air as striking teachers and their supporters gathered at Grand Park across from City Hall. Then they were on the move, a rain-soaked stroll from City Hall to the Los Angeles Unified School District's headquarters on Beaudry Avenue, about a mile and a half away.
We are willing to do what it takes for our children, for our students.
Mariana Mitchell-Cusack has been teaching third grade in Los Angeles for 20 years.
Of the issues that are on the table, what matters most to you?
Smaller class sizes and definitely more counselors and more nurses.
So this isn't just about pay?
No, it's never about pay with us. That's what we knew when we got into teaching. We were not going to be millionaires.
Superintendent Buettner, how do you believe we got to this point?
Well, we've tried. We've said repeatedly that we want to do everything we can to keep school open. We did not want to strike. We want many of the same things. We'd like to reduce class size. We want to make sure we have more counselors, nurses, and librarians in schools. But we've been unable to reach agreement because we have limits of what we can afford to do. The county has come in and told us that we can't spend more. So we're spending every nickel we have in schools. I went to Sacramento last week to talk to the governor and his staff, to talk to legislators to get more funding for our schools. We've been working with the county for more funding for our schools, and every nickel we have, we're putting into our classrooms.
From several articles that I read today about this, and I ended up finding a good article at CNN, go figure. But like I said, oftentimes when you read the actual articles on the website, they do tend to be way less biased than a commentator would be on your nightly news. Now, this is from CNN.com. It says Los Angeles teachers are on strike, leaving 600,000 students in limbo. Weeks of heated negotiations between the United Teachers Los Angeles Union and the Los Angeles Unified School District went nowhere, leading to the city's first teacher strike in 30 years. It's absolutely not the pay raise. It's about class size reduction. In other words, hire more teachers, said Andrea Cohen, who's taught at John Marshall High School for 24 years. We want to have fully staffed schools. That means librarians, nurses, psychiatric social workers, and their interns. We have 46, 45, 50 students in a class. Is unacceptable. The union wants LAUSD to pull from its $1.86 billion in reserves to increase school staffing and boost teacher salaries by 6.5%. But the school district says it's not nearly as wealthy as the teachers union suggests. The financial situation is so bad that the Los Angeles County Office of Education is stepping in. Last week, the state-funded regulatory agency assigned fiscal experts to work with the school district on a plan to eliminate deficit spending and restore required financial reserve levels. And the Los Angeles School Board has ordered the superintendent to come up with a 3-year enterprise plan to get more revenue by March 18th. That plan could include parcel tax and school bond measures, as well as strategies for increasing enrollment. I wanted to basically know the difference between the school measure bond and the parcel tax.
School bond measures require only 55% voter approval to pass, and the funds can only be used for school construction, not teacher salaries or other operating costs. A parcel tax is a flat fee on each parcel of land within the school district boundaries. It can only be used to supplement insufficient state funding for programs that are important to the community, including salaries for teachers and classified staff. Parcel taxes require a 2/3 voter approval to pass. Both bonds and parcel taxes generate revenue for school districts. However, the revenue from each tax is used differently. For bonds, it's used for facilities, And for parcel taxes, we have a far broader way we can spend the money.
Parcel taxes are a regressive tax by definition. They put a larger burden on less expensive properties and less wealthy property owners. The owner of a small single-family home in a modest neighborhood pays the same tax as a corporate owner of a manufacturing plant or large apartment complex. Well, that doesn't sound liberal at all. But I wonder, like, what's with the increase in students all of a sudden? Like, where are all these extra students coming from? 60 students in one class? This is from the 74million.org. Immigration Fears in California Schools. Report shows 1 in 8 students have undocumented parents. About 250,000 undocumented children between the ages of 3 and 17 are enrolled in California public schools, but 3 times as many California students, 750,000, have undocumented parents. That's 1 in 8 children enrolled in California schools. What gives? Why can't California just pay their teachers or hire more teachers? Well, according to Forbes, in the top 4 reasons California is unsustainable, according to a January 2017 study, California state and local governments owe $1.3 trillion as of June 30th, 2015. The study was based on a review of federal, state, and local financial disclosures. In other words, that $1.3 trillion in debt is the amount to which California governments admit. Other studies believe it to be more. Indeed, one study says it is actually $2.3 trillion. And a recent Hoover Institute stated that there is over $1 trillion in pension liability alone, or $76,884 per household. Also, California's taxes and regulations. When you consider the California legal system and its regulatory system inclusive of the world's most comprehensive global warming law, California is the most regulated state in the country, if not the world. California also is among the highest tax states in the nation. California has the highest income tax rates. The top rate is 13.3%. What is remarkable about the California income tax isn't just that it has the highest rate, it is how little income it takes, just above $52,000 to qualify for California rate of 9.3%. Given the highest cost of living in California, that means many Californians are subject to the rate. On the other hand, for more than a decade, less than 150,000 of California's 35 million people pay half of all of its income tax, a highly imbalanced system. Now, many might think California needs all of those taxes given its infrastructure, deficit, and debt. The problem with that notion is that those prolonged high taxes, debt burden, and regulations limit California's economic future. After all, why would businesses locate in California in the future with the impending tax-ageddon that must be in the offing? So, the same California that has introduced taxing text messages to now drinking water, progressive darling that is planning to offer its residents universal health care with a price tag of $100 billion while being in debt of $1.3 trillion. California, the most overly taxed, heavily most heavily regulated state that just happens to be pushing out their middle class with about 130,000 people leaving each year for states that are less taxed, less regulated, with lower cost of living? You mean that California? Los Angeles, California can't afford to sufficiently pay their teachers or afford to hire new teachers. Huh. Go figure. I am shocked. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave your thoughts below.